Hello, everyone. You're welcome back to my channel. Thank you guys for tuning in to listen. This is your girl, Boyos Network. Mom, make una draw closer. Make una come and get gist for now. Una not say the panel wey Tinubu set up. Say all of a sudden, Uncle, as an almighty Akpabio, come withdraw from that panel. Now, group don't demand explanation as Akpabio backs out of the sexual harassment panel set up by President Tinubu. Guys, my people, say when this matter starts, a lot of persons they support Akpabio. Some people they support Natasha. After the accusation, Nigerians pleaded with our Senate president, submit yourself for investigation. The Senate president refused to submit himself for investigation. Instead, he used other fellow senators to dey torment Senator Natasha. All of us know the story, the rest na history. Now, another sister, Sandra Duru, come with your own matter. One thing you understand in this life is that truth is constant. No matter how you try to oppress those wey dey talk truth, God will always make a way. That is what Nigerian government and all these politicians made them learn from this Senator Akpabio case. Sandra Duru make a lot of serious accusation with evidence where she dey post. And in the process of showing the world her own evidence, she herself personally exposed herself. You see how God works? So please don't forget to subscribe to our channel if you have not. Subscription is for free. It's just for you to be getting updates as they drop our news. And also help us to like and share our videos. Abeg, if you know they share before, help me share this one. Make people know wetin dey happen, most especially those Akpabio supporters. According to a report published by Independent Nigeria on May 5th, 2025, a civil group known as Action Collective have voiced strong concern concerning Senator Godswill Akpabio's sudden withdrawal from the presidential panel investigating sexual harassment allegations made by Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan. The group, in a statement signed by its coordinator, Dr. Onimisi Ibrahim, expressed disappointment over what is described as a move lacking transparency. So now, guys, this investigative panel was set up by President Bola Tinubu on Tuesday, April 2nd. And the leader of this panel was the Vice President, Shettima, and with also top officials such as the National Security Advisor, the Attorney General of the Federation, and one representative each from both parties. That is from Akpabio's camp and from Natasha's camp. Okay, guys, now reacting to Akpabio's withdrawal, the AC stated, "We are surprised to hear that Senator Akpabio has withdrawn from the investigation panel without offering any official explanation." And this group also alleged that Akpabio cited undue interference by the executive and concern about fairness as its reason for exiting the probe. Guys, what I don't really understand here is that Akpabio, wetin he wan talk? He wan tell Nigerians say he no trust President Tinubu or he no trust the presidency, because now wetin dey happen, although he has not really come out to make official statement concerning this, but this now wetin the group so far gathered. You see, this sexual harassment case, make we no talk too much, but I just hope say this case go end one day. And every Nigerians are really waiting. They want to see how this thing is going to end. Over the years, they've seen cases where we say go start, but they don't know the ending. This one, everybody are eager to know the ending. And so I will drop this reaction with you guys. Please feel free to drop your honest opinion concerning this in the comment section. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel. Subscription is for free, just for you to be getting updates as we drop our news. And again, help us to like and share our videos so that YouTube can recommend it to others. Bye-bye.
This Nigerian activist, Sandra Duru, alleged that suspended Kogi Central Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan offered her 200 million naira to falsify or falsely accuse Senate President Godswill Akpabio of organ harvesting. Duru, who goes by the name Professor Ngbeke on Facebook, made the allegations during a live session on the platform. She alleged that Natasha admitted to having no evidence of sexual harassment against Akpabio and wants to force his resignation. The activist also claimed that Natasha recruited a former Minister of Education, Dr. Obi Ezekwesili, and Arise News to do her bidding, insisting that Natasha is on a mission to destroy men. Let's take a look.
Natasha told me bluntly, she said, babe, there was nothing like sexual harassment. I was shocked. So when she now started explaining things to me, in the course of the explanation, she was so relaxed. She was so calm. She opened up a lot of things to me. Our conversation wasn't just one or two, which the security agencies have already verified. And she was bold enough to tell me that she has paid Dr. Obi Ezekwesili, that she recruited Dr. Obi Ezekwesili, that's not a big deal, I can do it. I said, did you tell Dr. Obi that these things are not true? She said, they know. We are women. We can't let these men be doing this to us. We have to fight. Let's just use gender-based whatever. She now said, it didn't happen. I don't have evidence. That was why I sent Dr. Obi Ezekwesili, Mrs. Abiola or Dr. Abiola, and Fida. You were recruited, that she recruited useful idiots, women that can speak and be heard. You are now Natasha's useful idiots. And she was wondering why I cannot join her on Arise TV to do the same thing. And the question is, why always Arise TV? She said she has bought them.
Rufai, Vimbai, Femi.
Yeah.
These are quite damning allegations.
Damning.
And I could not help but wonder. I mean, now Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan would tell you there's no evidence of sexual harassment. I mean, that actually got me. Like, why would she tell you? I mean, do you have some superior powers, being? Are you God? Those were some of the questions. Well, in the meantime, Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan has refuted the claims made by Professor Ngbeke, and that's her name on Facebook, saying that the activist was acting on behalf of Senate President Godswill Akpabio. Natasha posted a screenshot from the Facebook live session where the activist mistakenly flashed her call log showing Godswill Akpabio's name. Let me take Natasha's post on IG. She wrote in part, the content of the live stream, including the voice effect credited to me, are entirely untrue and most manipulated to serve Sandra Duru's ulterior motive of playing the script of Senator Godswill Akpabio, who called 47 minutes into her during her live stream. See attached, and that's the footage there. To the best of my knowledge, those words used against Dr. Obi Ezekwesili, Dr. Abiola, Fida, and good Nigerians as gullible and hungry, Yoruba government, etc., are crazy falsehood and did not emanate from the natural cause of any contact involving me. In the nearest of time, I will respond to the unfounded allegations made therein. Well, Natasha went on to post some links of, alleged unscrupulous activities, including fraud and blackmail allegations against the activist, Dr. Sandra Duru. Let me take Obi Ezekwesili's tweet. She wrote, once again, Senator Akpoti, you will never walk alone. I see how my unwavering support for your cry for justice has sent your adversaries into a frenzy, resorting to a desperate, laughable falsehoods. Rest assured, Dr. Abiola, the distinguished women of FIDA, and I will continue to stand with you wholeheartedly. Our commitment to justice is unshaken, and we will not relent until justice is served. We simply despise injustice and the abuse of power, period. No sensible and decent person who knows my incorruptible track record is deceived by the ridiculous fabrications being peddled by your traducers. They know without a doubt that no amount of money, not even all the wealth in every central bank in the world can buy my convictions, voice, and stance on any matter I choose to support. So, worry not, Senator Akpoti-Uduaghan. You will continue to have my unwavering sacrificial support in your resolute fight against Senate President Godswill Akpabio. I mean, people have said that Arise News channel should respond to being mentioned in the Duru Akpoti Uduaghan allegations. But I would like to let you know that we do not respond to such wild and unsubstantiated allegations. We are a public trust and a platform for all in the pursuit of truth and justice. Rufai, I'd like to come to you with this matter. I just thought I should table out our, our side of our allegations. We do not respond to such allegations. But, it was quite refreshing to see Dr. Obi Ezekwesili respond to Natasha Akpoti Uduaghan in such a supportive manner, given that, this video came out, hoping that Obi Ezekwesili will be upset with Natasha Akpoti after all of that, accusing her of saying that, she was what? Is it an idiot or something?
A gullible idiot.
A gullible idiot or something. Useful idiot. That's what.
Oji, since this matter started,
Yeah.
you can play back all of my tapes.
Yes.
What have I said? I'm not saying Akpabio is wrong. I'm not saying Natasha is wrong. All I'm saying, they should put evidence forward. And I always put a caveat. In a moment or a time where Natasha does not have her evidence, I will be the first to do what? To berate her on this platform. You can check through the past tapes. And that's the point I've always reiterated. The talk and the all sorts of rubbish talk here and there. When that incident started first, the first guest that came to speak on that issue was Senator Nwabo. He sat on that chair. He came to speak in favor of Senator Godswill Akpabio. The thing happened today, the altercation happened, because I remember the day the altercation happened. I was in Abuja that day. That was the day Babangida's book launch happened. The next day, Senator Waboye was here. And we took every side. Both surrogates that came to speak in favor of Senator Akpabio and those that came to speak in favor of Senator Akpoti. We took every side. In fact, I thought we had more surrogates speaking in favor of Senator Akpabio on this platform, which are facts that can be verified. Then moving further, all of this rigmarole that happened. And you are hearing, allegations of this and that, and all sorts of allegations being mentioned. Oji, it was crystal clear. We met Natasha on the night of our awards. There's no hidden. It was live on TV. We sat down together. So all sorts of talk. We have just always maintained that every part should be heard.
Absolutely.
Is it also this incident that led to a recall that we exposed here? And how that recall failed? And in all of this, we have also seen the accuser, in the bit of showing the phone, has also shown that there was a call received by the Senate president and some other senator. A contact.
Contact with that name.
With that
name. Contact with that name.
Yes.
And a contact with other names. So another conversation. So that's also out there in part of all of this. But on this issue, we have stood our part. We'll keep on giving voices to everybody possible. I'll keep on asking for the facts of every matter. And I also hear that there was a presidential panel set up to look into this matter. And I hear that the Senate president pulled out of it.
Yes.
I will want the presidential panel to also look at this. Natasha should present her evidence. Senator Akpabio should present her evidence. In the case of anyone found wanting, we come out there, we say it the way it is and berate them.
Yeah.
I just have one sentence to make, which is that I think that these are some of the, shall I say, occupational hazards in the era of social media, where people can come out to social media and lay whatever claim they wish to claim, whether it be verified, whether it be fact, whether it be not. And my appeal again, and I've appealed before, is to the judiciary, because these cases in their various capacities are before the courts. And that's where the evidence needs to be provided. And that's where we pray for a transparent and fair process so that we can really get what truly called justice. This social media back and forth, it's unnecessary.
Yes.
This issue is before the courts and the various processes. We need to be there every step of the way, holding those processes accountable until it reaches the ultimate conclusion of this case.
Absolutely well said. And as always, we at Arise News will continue to follow up on the story and report on it. We need more investigations.
Document calling for the Senate President to step aside. Nearly 60 civil society organizations. Give us the bare bones of this case and how we got here.
Thank you very much. So, civil society organization, especially those civil society organizations that have fought hard to get democracy back in Nigeria, they have been so worried and concerned that democracy and election has been bastardized in this country, and the need to restore political integrity in Nigeria so that at least we will be able to leave legacy for the younger generation. And to also, put confidence that our electoral system, it is not a system that it is only when you have money or when you have security or INEC or judiciary that you can win election. So because of this concern and because of the fact that you cannot be a leader when you have serious moral deficit, when you have ethical caution around your, being involved in the electoral process, especially when the person who perpetrated this, act has been confirmed to have committed electoral fraud and even, recommended for jail, then you continue to sit in the leadership position in the country. In other countries, once you are involved, no matter how long that crime you committed, it doesn't need to be the present crime, even if it was done previously, but the fact that you have committed that and that the court has confirmed that you are a beneficiary of such kind of crime, you lost moral superiority to be in that leadership position. And
but did he actually win that election? Because when we say he was a beneficiary, I'm wondering whether he won that particular election. I mean, I know he won the one previous and subsequent, but I mean, did he win that election?
For the court to have said that, his election was, constituted,
tainted.
Is tainted, and that, the INEC had even overwhelming facts and evidences as presented by the then electoral commissioner in the state, clearly show that something fishy had happened. If there was no any problem, why must it be Akpabio case? It could be also the other people. But in this case, we have just seen, just as recent as last week, court validating the fraud that has happened. So we are just looking at it from moral perspective, from ethical perspective, from the fact that we need to leave a legacy. We need to restore confidence on Nigerians that democracy is not a platform for committing electoral fraud, electoral rigging, and what have you.
So let's be clear. The reason you're calling for him to vacate his position is for the sake of public confidence,
Absolutely.
the rule of law, the integrity of Nigeria's democratic institutions, and I'm quoting verbatim from your press release. And your argument is that if he remains in office, that would undermine democratic values, raise much more fundamental ethical questions, and send a dangerous signal about this country's electoral process ahead of the 2027 general election.
That's exactly what we have articulated in our position, and I tell you that we had more than these 60 organizations. In fact, at the time we were just going to the press, we had several other organizations that we could not even list it in the list because we had a time deadline for people to signify their interest to join on this. Unfortunately, they missed the deadline, so several of them, which will have run into hundreds, we are not able to do that because we need to make sure that we are.
So it's a much bigger group.
Exactly, it's a much bigger thing because many Nigerians who have struggled for this democracy, who really want this democracy to be a platform that can ensure justice, fairness, and pre-judiciary, independent judiciary, electoral body that is trusted, security that can be also unbiased, and INEC itself that can really be independent, and the people that can actually vote and be able to get what they have voted.
Yes,
they all need to be worried and concerned, and that is why they want to make sure that whoever benefited from such a system of fraud, he or she should not. So it's not just about Akpabio person. It is about the fact that a crime has been committed, and irrespective
it's
of
about the sanctity of the system.
sanctity of the system.
But that system,
and we cannot be a country that is run by either hooligan or a country that is run by unconstitutional order. if we continue that way, it means that we are mutilating democracy.
You have a very good point, but of course, I mean, the other side would argue that it also works both ways, because in addition to the ethical questions that you raise, the rights of an individual also have to be preserved. I mean, that's the whole point of it. But the question that you raise is, and that's a very important question, having been a confirmed beneficiary of electoral fraud in the 2019 to the 9th Senate, did Senator Akpabio have the legal or moral standing to contest for a seat in the 10th Assembly? Talk less of serving as the president of the Senate, even if he didn't win in that 2019 bit. That's your argument.
So this is
that's the question you raised.
So this is the thing that we are saying. We are saying that in the first place, if you have been involved in this process, even though he denied that he did not, state manage that, but now that we have gotten legal, or judicial conviction in that, case, it means that, he has a case, and for him to preserve the sanctity, the dignity of even that, position as Senate President, he is like number 3 in the country, and if your election is having this serious integrity deficit, then definitely you need to make that sacrifice to show example that you are not desperate and you are not out there at all costs to stay in that position unless it is a personal interest. If it is for the public interest, there's no argument, there's no worry. You can simply step aside and even apologize to the nation, because there's no way the probe will go to jail and then you are sitting enjoying, like I said, irrespective of which election it is. It could be, even immediately the first election that he has even contested. But the fact that crime has been committed and you cannot rob or, clean that, crime that had been committed. In other countries, if you are found guilty, even after 50 years, you still go to, face the music. In our country, because of the political control and manipulation and lack of respect for the rule of law and lack of the fact that we don't have, political integrity in the system, people think that they can do. Impunity is all over, and they can even rig the election and say, let's meet in court. And that is why it's a very dangerous, and that's why, again, you see many unprincipled politicians are jumping from one place to another because they fear that they may actually win at the popular vote, and the people who wanted to take over that mandate, they will just meet in the court because already they may have planted all sort of judges at the appeal court, at the various court, that when they go there, they will just simply collect that mandate. That is the reason why you even see this madness of defection. Not because they believe in President Ahmed Bola Tinubu or they believe in APC. It is because of the protection. They want to make sure that they continue to enjoy the power and the resources of Nigerian people. Not because they want to build a vibrant political parties that will be constructive in opposition, that will bring alternative policies and programs that Nigerians can see the difference between what they have been canvassing for them to vote for them and what the ruling party is doing. So there's no principle. It's sad that there's no political party that is based on ideology or principle or even helping to save the Nigerian people or Nigerian economy. All they are after, they want to be there, they want to grab the power, whether at local or state or national level. And when they come, you could see clearly there's no difference between APC, PDP, and the rest of the party, including Labour Party. They are all there doing the same thing. And you could validate that even at the National Assembly. You could barely differentiate between the members of ruling party and members of the opposition parties. They all agree to what many Nigerians see as anti-even legislature, because in legislature you have freedom of expression. In legislature you have freedom to debate and discuss for the national interest. Right now, in the National Assembly, if you speak against the leadership of the National Assembly position, you are likely going to be suspended or you are likely going to be, ambushed. So therefore, the politics in Nigeria has to change. We need to sanitize this, whole political system in the country to even give confidence for Nigerians who are not even in the electoral politics to now begin to go in.
Right.
But the way it is now, it will be extremely difficult if you do not do this dirty thing to get in there. First, you have to get dirty money to finance your election, to finance all sorts of agencies that can help you rig the election. Not campaigning on issues, not actually talking to Nigerians to see the problems they have. None of them is doing any need assessment to see what the problems are. For example, even the current leadership, they have promised so many things that, like electricity, like ensuring that they block leakages. There are so many things they promise. Nobody is asking questions, and because they don't really care about you, all they are interested, they grab the power and they are there and do whatever you want to do.
I think a lot of Nigerians would agree with your assessment. Let's return to the issue that we're discussing here, and let's be clear that your group of CSOs, you're not calling for the Senate President to step down, but to step aside, which essentially means that he should temporarily vacate his position until the matter is conclusively addressed. Is that right?
Yeah, that's what we are asking, because there's no way he can be seated, in that position, and
We'll be rubbing it in the face, into the face of
expect
Nigeria.
any fair conclusion on this matter, because the case has already been decided at the appeal court.
Yeah.
They are likely, maybe perhaps, to go to Supreme Court. We are saying that for him to give neutrality, for him to give confidence that actually he was not involved in whatever fraud there, it is only natural and proper for him to say, okay, let me step aside until after all this judicial
Yes,
issue
let all the investigations be
Once
carried
that
out.
is done, I'm telling you, Akpabio would have been celebrated as someone who believes in the rule of law, as someone who really is not in that position because of personal interest, but public interest.
Right.
We need to differentiate public interest and personal interest.
But what if he sits tight? What then?
Well, if he continues to sit tight, then it means that it's a bad example for the future generation and for democracy itself, because
Yeah, but there's so many bad examples of democracy. Most people would probably just, shrug their shoulders and life goes on.
But there should be integrity, and there should be dignity. There should be system correctness. You cannot simply, because some other people are doing it, then you continue to do it. It means that one day you cannot even have any election in Nigeria. People will just declare themselves winners. And if you continue with this kind of trend, you would have killed democracy itself.
And
Already
you
democracy